had a little bit of a technical issue there. It's because there were so many people who were turning in. I'm pretty sure we just broke the internet with the first ever tech show today.
But we fixed it.
We fixed it because that's what we do. We're technologists.
That's
We
right.
can do that. So we're going to take just a second to rattle off the names of the board members. Of course, our chair is Steve Best, and Steve Best couldn't be here for this inaugural edition of Tech Show today because he's downstairs welcoming everyone to Tech Show. We have me. I was the vice chair. An attorney from New Jersey named Joe Bahat. We had a very cool attorney that works for IBM named Stacy Blaustein, who's worked very hard as well. Ivan Hemmons works in the IT department of a law firm in LA. He's been a hardworking member of the board along with Catherine Sanders Reach. The two of them are who we have to thank for the new app.
Flip through everything during the day. You can mark the stuff that you contacts. You can Facebook, Twitter contacts as well. So it's really handy. Gives you the speaker information, the session information in one great place. You don't have to carry paper around or anything like that. So I've been really happy with the app.
Well, I'll tell you, all the board members that bring together Tech Show, as we all know, work really hard all year long. It's not an easy thing to pull together. It's not a hard thing to pull together either. I'm not going to say that it's that hard because after 30 years, it kind of runs itself. But the app was brand new. It took a lot of people, including ABA staff, to export information and import it. And I think the app looks amazing. So please make sure you check it out. Back to the board members, we also have Baron Henley, who works at Affinity Consulting. He's a great consultant. And Baron is probably everybody's Word guru. If you have a question about Microsoft Word, I mean, he's a guru on many things, but there's nobody that can chew away at issues with Microsoft Word like Baron can. We have Sean Holohan, who is the PMA from the Louisiana State Bar Association. Of course, we've had Randy Yipe. He's been the personality of Tech Show for a long time. Selfie. He loves his selfies, that guy. And finally, we have John Simic, who is a security and IT consultant based out of the Virginia, Washington area. So the board members are amazing. If you are coming to Tech Show and run into any of them, or if you happen to know them, make sure you give them a thank you for all the hard work they've done. I'll pat myself on the back.
Oh, here, let me.
Nice.
I got that.
Nice job.
Yeah,
Thanks,
nice
thanks.
job.
All
Nice
right.
job, Tech Show board.
Nice job, Tech Show board.
And the pay is amazing.
The pay, gosh,
Oh,
the
the pay is
vacations I've been
amazing.
able
Yes.
to take.
And
Yes.
the perks, the great,
And the
the great
perks.
locations where you
Yes.
can just stay in a conference room the whole time.
Yes,
That
yes.
makes Tech Show
Yes.
board
Tech Show
just
alone,
worth,
it's
so
just
worth it.
amazing.
You know the Tech Show board loves Tech Show when they're willing to give up their time on some beach somewhere to sit in a room and plan Tech Show.
With no windows.
With no windows, where it's really, really cold and everybody
Or
outside is in a
cocktails.
bathing suit. Yes.
I think from now on, all Tech Show board meetings should include cocktails.
I think that you might actually be able to make that happen
Since I'll be the chair
Of
as
Tech Show
as of Saturday
2017.
2017 for the 30th
Congratulations.
anniversary.
Nice work.
Guys.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So start marking your calendars now for next year's Tech Show.
Yeah,
But
you know what? I think that's actually a really important thing to
Yes,
say in
I
the
agree.
inaugural edition of this. I think everybody watching and listening should put two things on their calendar right now. First, Tech Show 2017. Just put it on your calendar
Yes.
and just plan that you're going to go. And then maybe in December, put a book my flight to Tech Show. So it doesn't creep up on you and you go, I really can't go to that. Plan to come to Tech Show. What are the dates?
it's the exact same dates as it is this year,
Oh,
except I
look at
guess
that.
this year it was like 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. Next year it'll be the Wednesday that is the 17th, 18th, and 19th, something like that. So it's during St. Patrick's Day, which I believe this is the third year that Tech Show has fallen during St. Patrick's Day week in Chicago.
Yes.
Or this is the second. Next year will be the third. So it's easy for you to mark your calendar. Just look for that week.
That Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, I'd say
So
there's
be
a
there.
third date I'm going to put on my calendar for next year, which is about the same time, but it's to remember to make your hotel reservation because the block sold out this year, and I'm actually in a different hotel.
Oh,
because
Dennis, for shame.
Dennis.
I forgot.
You're a veteran. If anyone should know.
Dennis,
Jeez.
Can we not? I mean, do we
do you
need
not
to
have
teach
an
you something new?
assistant?
No, I'm
Dennis is
looking-
a very self-sufficient lawyer. He wouldn't
Yeah,
have
he
an
d- he
assistant.
wouldn't have
I'm
an
looking
assistant.
for at the virtual assistant booths in the exhibit hall.
Okay, well, we're real sorry that you didn't make it here, but that's a really, really great point. Book your hotel, put a calendar appointment, book your hotel, book your flight, plan on coming. You don't want to miss it next year.
No, you do not want to miss it
You
next
do not.
year. You might miss it this year because you're not here yet. But there's still time to come because there's still a whole 2 days and a half.
And wherever you live, everybody flies to Chicago.
It's easy.
Yeah, come on over.
So let's talk about a couple of the sessions that we're going to have this morning. The one I think that I'm most excited about, because I didn't think we'd ever be able to get him, is the immediate past president of the ABA, William Hubbard. graciously agreed to come and speak. And I was trying very hard to give him sort of a plenary session. His calendar didn't work out. He could only do it one specific day. So he has a regular session.
Ooh.
I know. And he was still so humble and nice about it that he agreed to do it. And he's happy to do it. And the title of his session is The Future of Legal Services, Expand Access to Justice and Improve Client Service Through Technology. So William Hubbard, Mr. Hubbard, has been one of the leaders, the pioneers, as long as I can remember in ABA presidential history, that has really pushed lawyers using technology in their practice, and then really encouraging us as a profession to figure out how to use technology to improve the access to justice. So it's really amazing that he's here. I actually had dinner with him last night, and to listen to him be so passionate about it, and also the struggle that he has, right? Because he's like us, always trying to encourage the use of technology, and all the naysayers and all the we don't need technology, robots are going to take away our jobs, and he just pushes on, and he's amazing. So I'm very excited about that session. Want to talk about the Mack Truck?
This is interesting because for years, when I was on the Tech Show board a zillion years ago, I used to say, like, is this the year to do a Mac session? And people would always say no.
No one uses a Mac.
So now there's a whole track. It gets fabulous attendance. I mean, I think there's a really core group of lawyers using Mac. And you need to see tons of interest here. What's really cool, if you're in that Mac world, is that David Sparks and Katie Floyd, who do the Mac Power Users podcast, which I highly recommend, are doing a session.
Yeah, and I think, they're hard to get at the same time. They're kind of like the president and the vice president. They don't travel together that often because they're so important to the Mac community when it comes to lawyering. So they're both here.
So I think that's a cool thing, and so there's this huge variety this year because I'm thinking about the sessions that I'm looking at this morning. So I want to see Tom Mile and Adam Cameras of Legal Talk Network talk about podcasting, of course, and then there's this interesting session later in the morning on typography for lawyers, and so it's like one of those things where you go, it's not exactly technology in the sense you usually think of technology, but it's that sort of practical, useful approach to technology. I think Tech Show does so well.
I agree. I think that much of the reason...
I think they do too. And I think the other thing that Tech Show does that is really unique is they pick the exact right speaker for that topic. And so you're talking about the leading experts there's a leading expert in typography. Whoever that is, I don't know who's doing that session.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy.
He's the guy. Yeah,
he's the guy.
Right.
He's the guy. So you come to a session, you want to hear about a particular topic, and you're going to hear from an expert in that topic. And that's one of the things we love about Tech Show.
And we should talk about the Conference Concierge because whether you're going to come today, tomorrow, or the next day, or plan for next year, we established a Conference Concierge a few years ago. And the reason that came about is because so many people get sent here by their law firm, or they come to learn about one specific topic. And there wasn't really a way other than just randomly walking around and asking somebody, hey, where should I go? Who should I see? What vendor should I go see? So what we did is we came up with this idea for a Conference Concierge, which is very prominent down in the conference area. Anybody can walk up, and what I encourage people to do is bring your guide, or if you have the app, that's fine. And there's experts that are very familiar with what's happening in Tech Show throughout the entire conference who will help you circle the sessions you should go to, specifically point you to vendors in the vendor hall that are helping you with your mission. So if your law firm came, sent you here so that you would learn about, hey, we've got to move to the cloud, and boy, wouldn't it be cool to have voice over IP for our telephones, we're able to say, all right, well, here are the experts on those topics. Oh, there goes one right now. Hey, Debbie, come talk to this person. They want to learn more about, that's what the Conference Concierge does. And I think it's been one of the most successful things we've done just as an add-on to Tech Show. So make sure you look for that if you have any questions.
And Tech Show's a family, really, and that's part of the one of the things that has really helped grow that is people come back year after year and they're like, I remember you spoke on this, or I remember you were in my session. And we just, everybody, we know each other, connections all over the country, all over the world.
It's
Philippe, I don't know if he's here this year from Australia.
Oh, I don't know.
Doyle Gray. Yeah,
just really nice guy from
Amazing
Australia.
guy from Australia, and has come back to Tech Show. He loves it. He loves to be part of this Tech Show family. So.
We should take Tech Show on the road to Australia.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to
When
work
you
on
wanna
that.
go? Yep.
Yeah, let's do
get
that.
that done.
Sydney, I'm there.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's cool about the concierge desk is the people staffing it are volunteers, Tech Show board members, speakers. And so what you're saying, not only could they point you to the expert, they might be the expert.
Sure.
They might be.
And,
That's true.
and I've listened to people I told somebody once, I said, you just got $100,000 worth of advice from like the best
Right.
person in the field just off the cuff talking to you.
Or
So-
someone comes up with their laptop and says something's wrong, and the person says, "Let me have it," and they just get on their computer and they fix it for them. I mean, I've seen what can't you do? Here, we'll help you.
That's
Right.
why we bring Lincoln Mead year after year. Lincoln Mead comes with a toolkit.
Right.
He will fix whatever technical problem you have right there, if not improve upon it.
Or he'll break something we need broken, like whatever. He can fix it. He can break it. He's
Lincoln
talented
Mead
guy.
is a veteran for Tech Show with Tech Show, and he's the IT director at the Utah Bar. So he's a very talented guy. That's the type of person you're going to meet hanging around Tech Show. I want to talk about the Tech Show dinners.
Love the Taste of Tech Show dinner. So Adriana was actually the brains behind the concierge and the Tech Show dinner back. It was our first year on the board, which was in 2007, was for Tech Show 2007. And we came up with this idea of Taste of Tech Show dinners, where we would pick 10 restaurants on Thursday night and 10 restaurants on Friday night. And the dinners were hosted by the speakers, the Tech Show speakers, with particular topics, and people could sign up for a Dutch treat dinner and basically, like Dennis said, get whatever advice you need
Yes.
about that particular topic casually over dinner and a couple of drinks. And those have turned out to be so incredibly popular. And the thing that I love is I've hosted a bunch of them and I've attended a bunch. Most of the time you talk about the topic. Sometimes it's for the whole dinner. Sometimes it's for 10 minutes. And sometimes you don't talk about it at all. But you leave there with friends. And you leave with a new connection. Someone who, somewhere down the road, your paths are going to cross again. And you say, remember that Taste of Tech Show dinner? Just really, really fun. So if you're an introvert and you're worried about going to something like that, there is not a more welcoming group of people than those that are hosting the Taste of Tech Show dinners. We'd love to have you come out to a dinner tomorrow night. They're not tonight because of the 30th anniversary party, but they are tomorrow night.
Hey, Debbie, since you were the chair a few years ago, do you want to give a few thoughts on 30 years of Tech Show from your perspective of having run one?
Yeah, I don't. My mind immediately went to Ross Codner when you said that, and Ross was a longtime friend of Tech Show, passed away very unexpectedly a few years ago. But Ross was one of the first people who introduced me to Tech Show, and when I came as a speaker, which is probably 20 years ago. And when I got asked to be on the board, and Adriana and I went on the board at the same time.
That's where we met. That's that day
where
we
met.
became BFFs.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just was in awe that I was around these people that were legends in legal technology. It's such a huge honor to be a part of that. And then to chair the show was a huge highlight of my career. But watching, we did a Tech Show video that someone posted on it might have been on Tech Show Facebook, but of 30 years of Tech Show, and it involved WordPerfect 5.1 boxes and AOL CDs and floppy disks and just the history of technology. What has happened in the last 30 years is mind-blowing. What's going to happen 30 years from now? Like we can't even imagine what isn't invented yet. But I think we have come so far, and it's just, I mean, this show is just, it's amazing. I love it.
When we were planning we were doing a countdown, 30 days to Tech Show, and we profiled all of the Tech Show chairs that we could contact and connect with. So one of the things I did was go onto the Wayback Machine, which a lot of the as far as the internet was there when Tech Show was around, you could go back and actually look at the agenda and some of the and it's hysterical. But at the time, Tech Show was always cutting edge. I mean,
Right.
we were always covering topics and sessions. Quick about the LTRC before we get moving here.
So the main thing I'm focused on this year is the ABA's Legal Technology Resource Center, which is we're working to provide sort of a central clearinghouse for legal technology resources and point you to all the great resources out there. doing a little bit of programming. We have a great blog called Law Technology Today. We filter through some podcasts, other things like that. And so what we're doing today at Tech Show is there's a great legal tech pioneer named Jim Keene, who passed away, who they do an award for every year, which is in the sort of e-lawyering area, but really innovative use of technology in the practice of law, generally focused on access to justice. So that award is now presented as part of the luncheon on Thursday, and we do a tech trends. Sort of highlights from the ABA's legal technology survey that's done every year. So it's a number session. So we show a number, we talk about it, interesting numbers. I'm going to miss you on the panel
Sorry,
this
I was a
year.
little busy this year.
But so I'm looking forward to doing that and what we're doing with the LTRC. And we're going to make an announcement today that I'll give you a little bit of scoop on. But Heidi Alexander did this really cool thing last year of doing a blog post of the women in legal technology to highlight that. And sort of the interesting effect for me of that post was it put a stop to the conference organizers always said, we can't find women who speak about technology. We just can't find any. And I would say, just look at this blog
There's
post.
a list.
Right. Here it is.
Who was that one guy that was like, bring me a notebook of women? Who was that? Bring me a notebook of women.
So Heidi,
We've got one.
Heidi offered, came to LTRC and said, would you guys take this over and maybe do this for this year and maybe turn it into something on an annual basis? And the board unanimously jumped on that with a quick set of emails. So we're going to do that this year. Try to be super inclusive and maybe turn it into something where we really start to highlight women in legal tech, which in my role at MasterCard is really involved in women in technology, girls who code, a lot of organizations like that. So this to me is something that's long overdue and just a little thing that we can do through ABA that highlights women in technology.
That's awesome.
The women, thank you.
The women, thank you.
The women,
Here's
thank
to
you.
right now.
Right.
All right.
Thank
Well, it looks
you.
like we've run out of time for the very first episode of Tech Show today. We'll be back at high noon, so please tune back in.